Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to my review of the LG Leon. Now when I first saw this phone, it reminded me of my old LG Cookie that I bought back in the day, which I absolutely loved, by the way, but things have definitely moved on, so let's get into it. This is a really affordable option, and it's certainly on the smaller side of things when it comes to smartphones today, so let's get into it. Here it is, a tiny box for once. It does have a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor and the famous knock code feature, which can come in handy sometimes, I must admit. We have a 4.5-inch FWVGA display, a 1.2 GHz quad-core processor, gesture shot, a cool little feature as well, and a 19,000 mAh battery. There is a slot for a micro SD card there for you too. It's only got 8 gigs of internal storage. I'm already crying. I'm assuming you don't get any headphones in the box, but this is just a sample, so I could be wrong. Nevertheless, I really like the LG USB cables that they included. They have a great build quality to them and a good design. There's a really rather deep speaker for your ear at the top of the phone, which is rather nice. A VGA front-facing camera to the right of it. Moving on, some awesome LG branding towards the bottom. Always looks awesome in my opinion, and this little grey lip at the very bottom, it does make it stand out quite well, and I like it. So on the back we have the 8 megapixel auto-focusing camera with an LED flash. Just below that we have the power button, which is just too small and doesn't stick out enough. Volume rockers either side of that, and they're okay, but a little texture and extra detail on them would stand out so much better for your touch, and a little speaker grill on the bottom left. There's a 3.5mm headphone port on the top left, a micro USB port on the bottom middle, and microphone. Nothing on the left and right sides of the phone, as the back takes care of everything. The display has a resolution of 480 by 854 and it's 4.5 inches, and it looks okay. They're pushing this in-cell technology, but in reality it's just average. I think my eyes are just too used to seeing super sharp HD 1080p, and I don't mean to be a snobsworth, honestly. It just looks quite washed out to me, and colours just aren't that pleasing on the eye. Images on web pages can look quite pixelated at times, not all the time, and that's just never good. In the hand it's not really what I'm used to nowadays, but I really took to the smaller design very quickly. One-handed use is really quite easy to perform. It's nice and light at only 140 grams, and despite its plastic housing, you can get a decent grip on it too. I do like having the controls on the back also. The LG Leon is of course using its own skin over 5.0.1 Lollipop. It doesn't have all the features of the premium bigger brothers either, but what it does have is enough for your average consumer out there. Its OS is pretty current as well. It will serve you well. So when it comes to gaming and the screen not being the size that I'm used to, it can feel a bit awkward using touchscreen controls at times. Almost that my sausage fingers are taking up too much room and blocking out vital things that I need to see in order to play the game. It never heated up as far as I can tell after long gaming sessions. As for visuals, it does a pretty good job. Some pixelation here and there, but overall really not too bad. Audio is really quite crystal clear as well, which is awesome. I don't seem to be blocking the speaker, which is always good. Now I have experienced a few stops and starts from time to time. A rare occurrence for sure, but obviously can get really annoying. The processor is probably working overtime. Apart from the size of the screen dip in frame rate here and there, gaming is a pretty solid option when it comes to the LG Leon. So streaming video on the Leon looks pretty nice despite the fact that it's limited to a 480p playback on streaming sites like YouTube. It still manages to create a decently sharp image for you, and colours still seem really nicely replicated. There is a slight issue with viewing angles, making the content just a bit harder to view because of heavy reflections. Now there seems to be a total lack of bass coming from the speaker. As I mentioned in the gaming review, the audio is still really nice and clear, but that's only at a sensible volume. Have a listen and see what you think when the volume is higher. The Leon can achieve quite a substantial volume, but it does start to peak and clip in the higher frequencies, so in that respect it's not that great. Alright guys, so this is the front facing camera, and as you can probably tell, it's not the best quality in the world. It is of course a VGA camera, and that is pretty much Stone Age technology by today's standards, so I'm going to take it outside and see how it performs there. Alright guys, so this is the front facing camera. As you can tell, things haven't really improved that much, but what I did notice is that the microphone quality is actually really good. It's a bit of a grey day outside like it usually is at this time of year, but yeah, this is the quality. So here we have some photos using the rear facing camera. Obviously it's a massive improvement over the front facing camera. Now for me, colours do look pretty dull and a little bit washed out, and at times it did have a bit of a problem focusing on a particular subject. Even though I tapped on the screen to focus at this incredibly close shot, it still couldn't pull in the focus. Things do improve when you're a bit further away from your subject, so this would be absolutely fine for the odd photo here and there. So moving on to the video quality for the rear facing camera on the LG Leon, and I'm actually really quite impressed. I think it does a really good job of maintaining a decent focus even if your subject is a tiny little mad dog. The colours are still a bit lackluster, but when you combine this rear facing video quality with the microphone, you've got quite a nice little package there. I'll let you check out some more footage so you can make up your own mind. The battery life you're going to get from the LG Leon is really good. You can get hours of video playback, and if you're just going to be using this moderately throughout the day, it'll probably last you a good couple of days. Call quality is really nice too. In my opinion, this is a really good budget smartphone. It is let down by the camera a bit, but apart from that, it's got all the other features in place that you're going to need, and it's got really good battery life as well, which is an awesome thing to have. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. A big thank you to James over at the Ideas Network for the sample. The link is below if you want to check that out. Please do give this video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it if you found it helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.